Looking for these better days.
It is Monday, January 12th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. It was a weekend of dogs in the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. We did have a favorite win and cover last night, though. And what will happen tonight when the wild card round concludes with the Steelers and the Texans? Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. Mackenzie, what a wild card weekend we saw. It started with the two games on Saturday, the Rams beating the Panthers, the Bears coming from behind to defeat the Packers. And then yesterday, Buffalo over Jacksonville, San Francisco defeats the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Patriots took care of the Chargers. Prior to the 49ers win over the Eagles, the first three games of the wild card weekend, not only were underdogs 3-0 ATS and two outright wins, which it continued with the 49ers win, making it 4-0 ATS for dogs with three outright wins. But the team leading at the 2-minute warning had lost the first three wild card playoff games. And if the
Doesn't
Eagles,
get better than that.
Yeah, and if the Eagles were able to convert there on their final drive, it would have been 4 for 4 with the 49ers blowing a lead, but that was not to be the case as the 49ers do pick up the victory. So I will give you the floor, Mackenzie. Which game do you want to talk about first? Which is the game that is that's stirring the most in your head right now?
What game do I want to talk? Is that a trick question? There is the game that made my weekend, San Francisco 49ers. Let me ask you a question. Let me be critical of my cousin, Kyle Shannon, or rather allow you to be critical and then defend him. What did you think of kicking the extra point up 4 after Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey with no George Kittle, with no Ricky Parasol, with no Brandon Ayuk all season, pull off the miracle, but they go up 4 and they miss an extra point. Obviously, you don't intend to miss it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people said they should have gone for 2 to go up 6 and make the Eagles have to make an extra point.
That's how I always think about it. Okay, but
all right, I'll have a rebuttal, but go ahead.
But you also have to think about it in terms of the time left in the game, right?
Right.
And the opportunity for you to get another possession after
Thank you. Okay, all right.
the opponent.
I thought I was in crazy land because everyone's like, I just can't understand it. There's just no reason why you'd want to go up 5. Well, with 38 seconds left on 4th and 11, I thought very much so in my gut they might throw a touchdown here or before that, and then you'd have 2 timeouts, either up down 3 if they made the extra point or down 2. So that point absolutely did matter. That's the modern NFL. It's not surprising with 30 seconds. So I didn't think the game was over if they scored there. I obviously, very happy with the result.
Yeah, like you have to think about the what if the Eagles scored and then gave the 49ers plenty of time to get another possession. You have to think about the benefit of if you go for 2 there and you go up 6. That's amazing, right? Because then what's going to happen? If the Eagles score a touchdown, they need an extra point to take a 1-point lead, right?
Right.
And then you just need a field goal to win the game. Okay. Now, if you miss the 2-point conversion and you go up 4, well, now the Eagles score a touchdown and the extra point puts them up 7. Now you're only in a position to tie the game, right? But if you kick the extra point and you go up 5, the Eagles score a touchdown. Now the Eagles are in a position to go for 2 to go up 3. If they make the 3, well, guess what? You're in this 2-point conversion. Well, guess what? You're in the same position as if you would have missed your 2-point conversion. But if they miss the 2-point conversion, well, then you still can win the game with a field goal. So I think there's more chances for you to win the game with a field goal if you just kick the extra point as opposed to going for 2 and the 50-50 chance that you make it or miss it.
Exactly. And you explain the ramifications very well. And I guess what frustrates me is that the knee-jerk reaction is one level deep. It's like, well, you only want to be up 6. Why wouldn't the coach do this? Like they're pretending to be analytics gurus. Anyway, that pissed me off in the post-game reaction. Because it's like, do we have to, take a dig at a guy that's 9-4? That he's 4-0 when he's more than a field goal underdog ATS in the playoffs. This team is full of belief in miracles. You gotta love the 49ers. We're beating the Seahawks next week.
I just don't know like how the Eagles lost that football game. Like, I don't want to take anything away from the 49ers. I really don't.
I think the Eagles are the story from a neutral point of view.
The Eagles are the story. The Eagles losing that game was inexcusable. And if I'm Jeffrey Lurie, the Eagles owner, I am seriously evaluating my entire organization because – first off, the offensive coordinator is gone. Like, we know that. Like, you might be listening to this podcast whenever time you're listening to it here on Monday, and Kevin Patullo is already fired, okay? Sure. Because the Eagles' play calling was a disaster this season to the point where Nick Sirianni had to get involved in the play calling. So the offensive coordinator is gone. This was the tweet that really set me off after the game about the Philadelphia Eagles, and we could talk about all the mistakes that they did during that game, all the coaching mistakes that Nick Sirianni did in that game. But Dan Orlovsky, former NFL quarterback, ESPN analyst, does an incredible job. I think he's one of the more brighter guys when it comes to breaking down football. Like, some people might disagree with him, but the guy knows the game. The guy knows film, right? He tweeted out, Philadelphia on their final offensive series, Mackenzie, ran 10 plays. They ran the same play or copied from a previous play on that same drive 4 different times. On the final drive, where you are driving to win the game, of the 10 plays, 4 of those 10 were repeat plays from that same drive. You don't think Robert Saleh and the 49ers defense knew what was coming? And then you call a timeout before 4th and 11, meaning you were essentially forfeiting the game. You were saying, this is the last play of the game. I either get the first down on 4th and 11 or the game is over. Because with 48 seconds left, even if you miss the 4th and 11, you still had 3 timeouts, meaning you could stop the clock on every play and then force the 49ers to punt with 30 seconds left in the game. And then you still have a chance to pull off a miracle upset win, okay? No reason to call that timeout. Now, I understand some people are saying you got to make sure you have your best play, right? You got to make sure you have your best play. Your best play was copying the plays that you were doing all drive, right? This offense was so discombobulated. Forget about A.J. Brown dropping passes or not lining up correctly, the holding penalties that negated any positive play that the Eagles had, right? The inability of this offense to do the simplest of things. Saquon Barkley was torching the 49ers in the first half.
Yep.
He was having his way with the 49ers. And when we do the trench report every week, Mackenzie, we identify what is a strength of one team and a weakness for the other. The strength of the Eagles was their offensive line, even without Lane Johnson, the offensive line run blocking. And the weakness of the 49ers was their defensive line in stopping the run. And in the first half, Saquon Barkley's running all over them. So naturally, when it's a 4th and 2 at midfield and you decide to be aggressive, Nick Sirianni, you empty the backfield and have Jalen Hurts throw an incomplete pass. But then you get to the second half and you abandon the run until later in the second half, when you start to realize, oh, wait a minute, we actually need to start running the football. So, okay, now you start running the football again. But on that final drive, I understand Barkley was banged up. You still have a very capable backup in Tank Bigsby as well. You know the 49ers defense is gassed. You know the 49ers defense has not been able to stop the run all night. How do you not run the ball on first down or second down to set you up for an easier opportunity to convert on 3rd down or 4th down? Heck, Mackenzie, I would have even been fine if they ran the ball on 3rd and 11 and gained 4 yards and then won for it on 4th and 7. But to go Jalen Hurts sack, incomplete, game over, absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It was a 1-yard sack. Earlier on that drive, it was 4th and 5, and it was 2nd 5, 3rd and 5, 4th and 5. I never felt comfortable. I thought we might have a chance to make a play, but 4th and 5 is eminently, especially with that offense, beatable. Eagles 5 for 16 on 3rd down. They faced 16 3rd down, so the bend but not break defense was working. They were giving them a lot of those plays. 3 out of 5 on 4th down, and even when they scored their touchdowns, I felt like they were making them work. I felt like just Jimmys and Joes out there could get 8 yards, but they were going to have to come up with the play, and they didn't have a double reverse receiver 30-yard bomb to the running back out of the backfield. I'll tell you that much. They
Yep.
did not have the innovation. So, all right, Nick Sirianni doesn't call the plays. In years past, that's kind of excused them. They got 2 new coordinators. They won the Super Bowl. But this is the organization that set the precedent, firing Doug Peterson only 3 seasons after winning the Super Bowl. If anybody was going to do it, maybe not today or tomorrow, but maybe in the next year, I think Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles have done it. By the way, John Gruden, 6 seasons after, would be the second closest, but nobody's been close to what the Eagles have done.
The Browns fired Kevin Stefanski, a 2-time award winner for the best coach in the year, best coach in the league, right? I think that maybe the acknowledgement has to be, well, was it the coordinators that won the Super Bowl, not Nick Sirianni? Also, and of
Kellen
those
Moore, Vic Fangio.
And speaking of Vic Fangio, by the way, that 49ers performance yesterday was the best offensive performance ever against the Vic Fangio Eagles.
Wow! They had what way? 23 points couldn't have been the most.
No, but it was like it was like the highest success rate or something like that. It was
yards per play. It was pretty dominant. Yeah, they were and they didn't get anything on the ground. It was just the Vic Fangio was going to make Purdy beat him, and he almost didn't, but he did.
Listen, you win the turnover battle 2-0, and like you still can't win a football game.
Get a punt return
at home. Like it's just what a disaster performance of the Philadelphia Eagles. Ruined our trench report bracket, by the way, as we were predicting the entire playoffs just playing out the trench report.
The preseason better day prediction: Bills Niners lives.
Could you imagine?
Bills Niners lives.
Could you imagine?
Definitely.
Could you imagine? I mean, like, listen, I bet the Eagles yesterday. I thought the Eagles had a massive mismatch in the trenches against the 49ers. And once George Kittle went out, and man, that is just unbelievable, George Kittle.
Yeah, minus 540 for the Eagles at that point.
I mean, it's so terrible. And now he's probably going to be gone all of next year with the torn Achilles.
Oh, man, no. He's back week 7.
Okay.
It's like the little things you hold on to.
All right.
He's back week 7 for sure.
Yeah, it's such a terrible blow to a team that has dealt with injury after
Did you see them going into the locker room? They were like, not even like they were like we have to win another one next week. They were like sad. That was the first thing they talked about in the locker room speech. It's tough. He's their guy.
What did you make of the report that like surfaced this past weekend about the 49ers and how the stadium is next to like an electrical plant, and so like all the electric waves cause like
they're not grounding.
Tendons.
They're not grounding at night. I keep telling them you get a mat. You get a negative charge, and I actually had not heard that report.
Oh, go look at that report.
And
yes,
that's why they're the most injured team, or the third most injured team every year.
Yep. That's why they're the most injured team. Yep.
It's got to be something.
Because the power plant that's next to the stadium is the reason why they are the most injured team.
You know, there are things like historically, I don't like having the practice facility be the same thing as the stadium. I don't like people not going away for training camp. There's certain things, the old school ways to do it was the ways to do it.
So the 49ers win. Congratulations. They advanced. And now the NFC bracket is set. It'll be the 49ers at the Seahawks. And that game is going to be on Saturday, I believe. And so the 49ers have now won.
So who do you got? Niners, Rams, NFC Championship game.
They got the rest disadvantage there, clearly. And then the Rams will take on the Bears on Sunday. Your early lines, Mackenzie, courtesy of the FanDuel Sportsbook. It is the Seattle Seahawks as a touchdown favorite over the 49ers. Is that disrespectful? Like, what do you think about that? Actually, it's up to 7.5 now up on FanDuel.
That's disrespectful. I'm starting to think Pearsall can't necessarily play that much football in a given year. That's been very disappointing, as good as he's been when he's been on the field. So that's a big swing. If maybe it goes back to 7 if he's announced in, but I don't have my hopes up. Seahawks don't win at home. Niners don't lose on the road. Again, Kyle Shanahan 4-0 when he's a 3-point dog or more in the playoffs, 9-4 overall.
All right. And the Rams are up on FanDuel 3.5-point favorites at the Chicago Bears. This line, I think, opened up at like 4.5, and it's been bought down to 3.5. So money coming in on the Bears. And I think it's because people were starting to tweet out yesterday when these lines came out that the weather report for next week in Chicago, it looks like it's going to be like
cold?
in the teens as far as the temperature is concerned.
You don't know what it's like. Being in New York, like sometimes you get slush. You ever look at your windshield and it says negative blank? It's never happened to you, has it? It has.
It has. We had a couple of polar vortexes there.
Yeah. But we get the teens every year. We're used to this. We're built for
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So that's something there. And we do know one of the AFC matchups. It'll be the Buffalo Bills at the Denver Broncos, where the Bills are actually 1.5-point favorites at the number 1 seed, Denver Broncos. The Bills getting a come-from-behind victory yesterday over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 27-24. And this was almost one of the biggest coaching gaffes since not squib kicking it with 13 seconds left against the Kansas City Chiefs. Sean McDermott, McKenzie, almost did it again.
He think he should have taken a knee, like what Romo was saying?
Yes. There's 1 minute and 2 seconds left on the clock. The Bills have first and goal at the goal line, right? Because Josh Allen scored a touchdown, but they said he was down. So first and goal at the goal line, the half-inch line. The Jacksonville Jaguars have no timeouts left. Now, I understand what you're saying. The touchdown's not guaranteed, whatever. You take a knee on first down. Now you're back to the 2-yard line. Now you milk the clock down till there's 22 seconds left because you got a 40-second play clock, right? Call your timeout with 22 seconds left. At that point, you have 2 timeouts remaining, so you can stop the clock after a failed attempt on second down. You can stop the clock after a failed attempt on third down. It's 4-down territory. You're telling me that 3 tush pushes with Josh Allen on second down, third down, and fourth down from the 2-yard line, you're not scoring a touchdown?
If it was second down, I think there's an argument that you need all 3 chances. On first down, not only in Madden, in real life, it's a necessary play. It's 45 seconds of game clock. It goes from they have a chance at the Jaguars to they have absolutely no chance if you score.
Yep.
I do understand that it's not Madden and players have emotions and players like to get into the end zone, but you don't take you just dive at that 1-yard line, that half-inch line. It seems very doable. Maybe that's something teams should practice.
On first down, you just take a knee, and then you milk the clock. You call a timeout. And
I don't like taking a knee. You lose a yard. That might be an important yard.
Whatever.
But I think you can dive down without scoring.
Well, especially because the Jaguars were letting them score. So
yeah, but unless they're pulling you across the line,
yes,
you can get your knee down before you cross the line.
I just it didn't, and listen, it wound up not hurting them because Trevor Lawrence threw an interception on the next drive, so the Bills hold on to win. But man,
it was minus 130 when they had the ball at like the 20-yard line and the Bills were driving, and I'm like, this was the entire. Man, I should have hammered that. We should because this was the entire handicap. Yep. Jaguars are going to be a little bit better, but who do you want with 2 possessions left? One for Josh Allen, one for Trevor Lawrence.
And this is the thing also, like and I tweeted this out talking about the Trench Report success this week, and this game was the beauty of the Trench Report. Because while Tony Romo and Jim Nantz could talk all game about the Jaguars' number 1 ranked run defense, that's all well and good. And if we're talking about like yards per game or whatever, like, yeah, I guess like technically the Jaguars, the number 1 run defense in the NFL, like that's cool. But that's the Trench Report doesn't, this is where the Trench Report don't lie. Okay.
Right.
Because the Trench Report, McKenzie, does not care about tackles made by the linebackers or by the safeties stacking the box. Right.
An 80-yard run looks a lot like the 20-yard run when you get past the line.
So like, okay, the Jaguars had the number 1 run defense in the NFL, allowing only 85.6 yards per game. However, the Trench Report had the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive line ranked 9th out of all the teams in the playoffs. So, yes, they're not allowing a lot of yards per game. However, this is the beauty of the Trench Report. If you go deeper into the analytics here and the numbers and the stuff percentage and how many times a defensive lineman is tackling a ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage, or how many times the defensive lineman is winning or losing his block, like shedding the block versus the opponent's offensive tackle, this is where the Trench Report comes into play because it identified the mismatch here in favor of the Buffalo Bills. So in short yardage situations, in goal to go at the 1-yard line situations, tush push situations, This was going to be where the Bills had the advantage over the Jaguars, and it showed with multiple short yardage conversions yesterday.
I think you can also compare it to the Eagles on that. The big conversion was not the touchdown, obviously. It was the 4th and 1, and they went 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. You know, that's not moving the odds. They went from 130 to minus 115. 3rd and 4, 4th and 1, and you never, as a Bills fan, thought you thought, hey, I have Josh Allen. I'm going to convert a 3rd and 4 somehow. I'm going to convert a 4th and 1 somehow. The Eagles did not do that. They had a 2nd 11, 3rd and 11, 4th and 11 game over.
Which is why I think the play calling for the Eagles was so baffling, because you could have ran plays to put yourself in better situations to go for it on 3rd and 4th downs. Like, you don't need to get all 10 yards or all 11 yards, or you don't need to get a touchdown on 1st down or 2nd down. You can chip away. How about a little dump-off pass for 5 yards on 1st down? How about running the ball for 3 yards or whatever? Like, just gain positive yardage. Like, it's just Kevin Patullo's fired. Like, I'm sorry. It's just like, we know it's going to happen. It's over. It's the end of the discussion. Eagles will be looking for a new offensive coordinator, a new play caller. Maybe it's Mike McDaniel. And then, you know,
hey,
see what happens.
That'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun. And then last night, the game that was the absolute snooze fest of the day, of the weekend, which was the Patriots just beating up on Justin Herbert every which way. They win 16-3. They cover as 3.5-point favorites. Stupidest bet of the weekend that I made was live betting an over in this game in the second quarter. I thought at the time, to defend myself a little bit, but there's really no defense, because this game had just, these offenses were pathetic and the defenses were dominating. At the time, I thought, looking at all the other games that we had seen in the playoffs, right? 28 points in the fourth quarter between the Rams and the Panthers. Yep. 31 points in the fourth quarter between the Bears and the Packers. 28 points in the fourth quarter between the Bills and the Jaguars. 16 points in the fourth quarter between the 49ers and the Eagles. I felt there's still plenty of game left. There's still opportunities for points.
It's got to be a game for there to be game left.
Well, however, then I looked at the drives, Mackenzie, and we had drives end at the 2-yard line, the 3-yard line, and the 2-yard line, and we only had 6 points in the game.
Yeah, and so that's fair analysis.
And so I felt, well, let's go with a live over. Number was at like 31.5, and it just was nowhere to be found. So that was the stupidest bet I made all weekend. The best bet all weekend was, the Drake May over 5.5 rushing attempts, Justin Herbert over 5.5 rushing attempts. My goodness, those guys just ran. Justin Herbert should boycott playing for the Chargers ever again until they get like 5 new offensive linemen.
They got 2 all pros, or not, I don't know if they'd be all pros, but they'd be contending for it, just that haven't played since week 3?
Yeah.
Or has Joe Alt been back? I don't want to miss.
No, Joe Alt's been gone. Rashawn Slater done for the year too. Yep. Like it's just, they can't protect him. It's so bad. Last night was so bad watching him get beat up.
Do we just give him a complete pass? How many, has he won a playoff game?
Juwan, what's his face for the 49ers?
Jennings?
Juwan Jennings has the same amount of playoff touchdown passes as Justin Herbert.
Wow. In 3 games. Yeah, he has 2 touchdowns. 4 picks? You have any picks? Yeah, 4 picks. No touchdowns or picks in last night's game.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings has the same amount of touchdown passes. Juwan Jennings, by the way, was a big-time quarterback recruit coming out of high school. And if you look at the 24/7 player rankings that year coming out of high school, he was ranked ahead of Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, and Lamar Jackson.
I think he still thinks he has a chance. Yeah. I think next week he's going to be like, give me 2 plays.
He was a legit quarterback, man. He was a dual threat quarterback. He was listed as a dual threat quarterback, Juwan Jennings. So, and he has made his way to the 49ers, where he's still throwing touchdown passes. So congratulations. So wild card weekend ends with underdogs going 4-1 against the spread, with the Panthers covering in a loss, the Bears and Bills and 49ers winning outright, and the Chargers the only underdog that did not cover. The Patriots obviously the only favorite that won their game and covered, and it was an overfest, really. More overs than unders. Last night obviously going way under with the 16-3 score. So what does that mean for tonight's game?
Every Friday from 6 to 7:30, it's NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel, your pregame for the weekend. We're talking limited time specials you won't want to miss. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all dropping in the app during happy hour. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see the week's special. Then, make your move before the shot clock expires at 7:30 Eastern. It's the perfect way to start your weekend. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. Or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
We got the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now up on FanDuel, Texans are a 3-point favorite, low total of 38.5. Mac, we've talked about this game before, and it seems like everything in me wants to bet the Pittsburgh Steelers. Every number that you look at, trend-wise, tells you to bet the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is there anything from a game perspective, though, in your opinion, that has you on a side or a total in this game besides, like, so not the whole Mike Tomlin as a dog, Aaron Rodgers as a dog, Steelers don't lose on Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers doesn't lose on Monday Night Football?
I think the over. I mean, I think the fact that the Texans, we looked at Riley Leonard and we said, all right, he can't score, and then he put up 30 points. Why do we think the Texans can't, or the Steelers can't put up 21 here? So I lean to the Steelers on the side. And I think I said, they're an alternative non-Wong teaser candidate, but I think 38.5 is just too low for what we've seen.
It feels that way. I think the Steelers are going to have success offensively. I think the fact that DK Metcalf is back is going to be massive for the Steelers offense. If anything, it's going to take the attention away from someone like a Kenneth Gainwell, who we know has been a major part of this passing attack. So Kenneth Gainwell over 32.5 receiving yards would be a way that I would look tonight for this game. What I keep coming back to is not just all the trends, and the trends are massive. Like, we might as well
home
go
dog
ahead
on a Monday night.
We might
just for one.
What'd you say?
Home dog on a Monday night, like Boomer used to say, Chris Boomer.
Yeah, but also let's just acknowledge, like, the Steelers are undefeated at home on Monday Night Football, right? Going back to forever.
In Mike Tomlin's tenure at home,
yeah, and then it's Aaron Rodgers is like 12-2 straight up on Monday Night Football in his career. Then you just look at Tomlin as a dog, Steelers as a dog. Like, every which way you cut it, there's just like a million things that point to the Steelers winning this football game, or the Steelers being the side you want to bet on in this football game. But what I keep coming back to is we have an indoor warm weather team in the Houston Texans now going to the frigid, cold, terrible playing surface that is Pittsburgh, right? This isn't going on the road to Foxborough like the Chargers did yesterday, where that's a pretty good field playing surface, right? We're going on the road to Pittsburgh, where the grass is going to be choppy, slippery. It's not a great surface. And, they tried to replace, like, some of the panels and whatnot. It just gets beat up all season long. I think that this is an opportunity where the Steelers really flex their home field advantage over the Houston Texans. Now, I will say that last year we saw the Texans go on the road to Kansas City in a cold playoff game, outdoors, in the grass, and they acquitted themselves nicely. They
covered the spread.
They covered. They didn't win, but it was 23-14. They only managed 14 points, though, in that game, Mackenzie. What do you think of Texans?
Maybe they didn't cover. It was like 8-9. I think it was close to the covering the spread.
Really? Okay.
But by the way, home playoff teams with the Panthers and Bears adding to that list. I did not know this. 11-2 since 2016. Looking at it now. 2-0.
Home playoff dogs.
home playoff dogs since 2016, any round. Bears covered, Panthers covered, now the Steelers.
That's huge. Yeah. No, that's a big one.
Covering by 11 points per game. Wow.
Yeah.
Dominant.
Home playoff dogs. Okay.
Yeah.
What about if we isolate just round one? Can you do that?
Let's see.
Because I wonder how many losses came in like the championship game or, like losing the championship game at home.
So just round one, we're now looking at 3-1.
Okay. All right.
2-0 so far this week.
So I think the Texans are going to have a hard time scoring here on this Pittsburgh defense. I don't know if I want to do a Texans team total under, but I do think that the Steelers are the play. We're going with the Steelers plus the 3. I think the Steelers win this game, but I think that the Texans have a hard time scoring on offense. What do you think if I told you about a Texans team total under?
We kind of just assume the Steelers are this hard-nosed team, and they did win one game like that, or a few games like that this season, although not in, the Ravens scored a bunch. But on the season, you look at non-turnover EPA, so you just remove turnovers, you say they're luck, even if the Steelers are good at them. 18th on offense, only 23rd on defense. I'm not sure. I see, like I said, I see points here. I see a 24-21 type game.
Okay. Can I interest you in
what is the Texans team total?
20 and a half.
Yeah, so 24-21 we'll lose. Either way you go.
Okay. Can I interest you in a same game parlay?
Yeah, of course.
Right. Leg number 1, and we're building this courtesy of FanDuel. Leg number 1, Steelers money line. Are you with me?
You don't want to grab the plus 3. I mean, it's plus 3. It's such a nice number. I mean, I lean that way. Okay. I lean that way. I'd rather grab the 3 myself, but continue.
Leg number 2, Kenneth Gainwell over 32.5 receiving yards.
I like that.
Okay. Leg number 3, CJ Stroud over 12.5 rushing yards. And I keep going back to that.
12.5?
Yeah.
Seems like a typo.
I keep going back to the playoff game last year against Kansas City when he rushed for 45 yards in that playoff game against the Kansas City Chiefs, or 42 yards, excuse me. He actually, ironically, also rushed for 42 yards in the playoff game in the wild card round against the Chargers last year at home. So I think in the playoffs here, as evidenced by last year on the road, cold weather in Kansas City, I think CJ Stroud utilizes his legs. Plus, we can get a situation where the pass rush for the, TJ Watt's just bearing down on him, and CJ Stroud escapes the pocket. Give me over 12.5 rushing yards for CJ Stroud.
He was 2-0 last year. In 2023, he was 0-2 to his rushing prop, but neither of those were games. 45-14 versus the Browns, 34-10 loss versus the Ravens. I feel like if there's margin, if there's some flexibility, he's proven to put his neck on the line. When it's contested, 42 yards per game. Exactly.
Yeah. So those 3 legs is plus 601. Is that you like that?
Can we kick it up a notch?
Can we kick it up a notch is the question. And the answer is yes, Mackenzie. Let's go with, now what would be the anti-correlation here? Because we have the Steelers money line, we have an over on Gainwell, we have the CJ Stroud over on his rushing yards. Would a negative correlation be like Aaron Rodgers under 204.5 passing yards?
Yeah, but we need them to win the game. He might need one last drive. No, I don't want to mess with that. I think Rodgers goes over. We could do like a Texans over, like Woody Marks over 55.
Over
that's tough to get in a win. I mean, in a loss, but just throwing it out there.
What if we do Jaylen Warren under 52.5 rushing yards?
That I don't mind. Texans rush defense seems to be strong.
That makes it plus 1494.
So what are our Texans props? We have CJ Stroud
over 12.5, and then that's it. If we take away Jaylen Warren, and let's say we go with,
so we're just picking running back 2, and we're going over running back 2, under running back 1 is your idea.
Well, Gainwell we're doing receiving yards, not rushing yards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can do the combo just in case he runs for something, But I think he's more of a receiver.
Gotcha.
DK Metcalf is at 56.5 yards. We could fade DK Metcalf.
First game back. I mean, we're kind of saying Gainwell's going to benefit of his being a distraction.
Plus, you got you got the Texans defense focusing in on DK, right? So let's go
right, and it seems anti-correlated because it's Steelers win, but it's might be positively correlated to Gainwell.
Okay, so how about this? Let's go under. Would you rather go under 56.5 receiving yards for DK Metcalf or under 4.5 receptions?
Wish I could get 5.5. I think under 4.5 receptions.
Okay, so that makes it plus 10-18. Plus 10-18 because the under 4.5
is in the double digits.
Okay, so 10-1 same game parlay. DK Metcalf under 4.5 receptions. Kenneth Gainwell over 32.5 receiving yards. CJ Stroud over 12.5 rushing yards, and Pittsburgh Steelers money line. And how about this? I'll give you that's plus 10-18. I'll give you an alternate version. You can do Gainwell over 32.5 receiving yards, Stroud over 12.5 rushing yards, DK under 56.5 receiving yards. So do the yardage instead of the receptions.
Right.
And
diversify your bonds.
And then do Steelers plus 3 instead of Steelers money line. And that version of a 4-leg same game parlay is plus 951. So you can diversify a little bit.
I mean, they're all cashing. So, you want to have more than one ticket? You want to jumble all the money when you go up to the window?
Okay. Looking ahead to the potential AFC divisional round, because we don't know who's going to play the New England Patriots. The winner of the Texans and Steelers will. The Bills, as I mentioned, 1.5-point favorites at the Denver Broncos. Are the Broncos a teaser candidate? If they are, who do you pair them up with? Trench Report predicted this matchup, by the way, and it predicted a Broncos victory.
So this is a rematch of last year's playoffs, right?
This would be, yep.
And that was a pretty dominant performance.
That was the 31-7 win by the Bills, but that was also in Buffalo.
It was in Buffalo, and it's a new team. The Broncos are much better. Still, I could see the Bills winning by 10. I wish I could, and maybe later in the week we can. I would like Broncos if they were a 1-point favorite. I'd like the Bills on the teaser leg more.
Do you think
Josh Allen never loses by 10?
Do you think this flips? We saw all the money come in. Speaking of the money, by the way, all the money moves were wrong on Wild Card Weekend. Money came in on the Rams.
Theme of the year.
Money came in on the Rams, pushing the Rams from 10 to 10.5 to 11 earlier in the week. It then settled back down, but that was a wrong move. Money came in clearly on the Jacksonville Jaguars, flipping the favorite in that game, and that was clearly wrong. Money came in on the Green Bay Packers to the point where Circa had them up to minus 2.5, and then that was completely wrong. Money came in on the Eagles.
I mean, they missed some kicks. As someone that had the Packers, I'm going to go to my grave saying that was the right pick.
Money came in on the Eagles, pushing them up to minus 6.
Lot. Yep.
And
even when I thought Trent Williams was out, I was convinced the line knew more than what I was hearing.
That was wrong.
It was wrong.
And then we didn't have any movement in the night game because I don't think it was ever moving off of the 3.5. So, what if the market moves this to being the Broncos as a favorite? Or, I don't know. I'm very curious.
The market clearly at least doesn't like the Bills. Maybe it just loves the Jaguars. But, yeah, I could see the money moving here. You can even get pick 'em in some spots.
I think the market didn't like Josh Allen's foot injury. But then again, we didn't see him play last week because he took the week off, just getting that ceremonial handoff, and then that's it. So I think the market was maybe investing too much into Josh Allen being hurt and maybe not running in that game yesterday. The fact that he gutted it out, the fact that he did all those, tush pushes, he did get beat up in that game. I mean, man, he took a bunch of shots. He went into the tent twice. I'm curious to see how the market moves.
I think if you like the Bills, you shouldn't be a rush to get to the window. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, because, Circa's already at Pick'em. I feel like money comes in the Broncos, but I think that money will be wrong. Like it has been all year, although money moves have been kind of off this year.
All right, Mackenzie, your Super Bowl favorite is the Seattle Seahawks up on FanDuel at plus 280, followed by the Los Angeles Rams at plus 320. The Buffalo Bills are plus 550. Patriots plus 600. The Broncos plus 800. The Chicago Bears 12-1. Texans 12-1. 49ers 20-1. And the Steelers 40-1. What is the bet to be made right now?
Obviously 49ers 20-1. I know. I'm biased, but they were 9-1 last week before the game was played. I know they don't have the number one. They don't have the path, but it's much easier to win 3 games remaining than it was to win. Or it's just 3 games. They were going to win 3 games at 9-1. Now they need to win 3 games.
It's just 2 because then they're playing at home in the Super Bowl. And
exactly, which is guaranteed. You know how the Niners just always wait. Yeah, no, never.
Yeah, but no George Kittle now.
Yeah, that's true. It's a downgrade. I mean, how could it? I mean, it's a huge downgrade, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
Tongas. It's going to be the Jacob Tongas show. I don't know, Mackenzie. I think the Steelers have value at 40-1.
It seems like one of those years anybody can win it. I'm not going to go into any game thinking the Panthers can't beat the Rams anymore. I know I did think that last week, but I think it's pretty wide open.
If the Steelers win this game tonight, and I mean, what's your bet? What's the line going to be? Steelers Patriots. Like the Patriots at home will be favored. It might be the same, might be -3, but like I think the Steelers can win that game in Foxborough.
The Steelers have won in Foxborough this year.
Yeah, the benefit is going to be for the Steelers and for the Patriots as well. But really for the Steelers, the benefit is one of these teams is getting knocked out between the Bills and the Broncos. And so
the line in week 3, Patriots at home versus Steelers, was Patriots +1.5.
That was a different. The market felt so differently about the Patriots earlier.
Yeah, the market thought the Patriots were going to win 8 games, and they thought the Steelers were going to win 9 games. And
the Patriots lost to the Raiders in week 1.
That's true. Still, this is an 8-point move. The Steelers can win that game, is all I'm saying. They already did it.
That's what I'm saying. I think at 40-1, the Steelers have value. Starts with a win here tonight, but then they could easily go to Foxborough and win that game. And then it's Aaron Rodgers in the AFC Championship game, either going to Denver to face Bo Nix or going to they would host the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they
think about that.
Them. Yep.
Think about that. If they win this game tonight, they go to Foxborough where we think they can win. Then it's either go to Denver and face Bo Nix, and you got Aaron Rodgers in that Steelers defense, or you are hosting the AFC Championship game against the Buffalo Bills. And in that case, you feel like the Steelers are live dogs in that game as well. 40-1 is just too crazy. That's crazy odds.
I don't even think a moneyline parlay might be better.
No, it's not going to be better. Of course not.
+250 next week. You might get. Yeah, if you're facing the Broncos, I think you got a chance.
It's not going to be better. 40-1 is the play. Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at me. The jig is up. The news is out. They finally found me. Renegade. They play that. All right, Mac. That'll wrap up our Monday morning quarterback edition of this episode of Better Day. It was certainly an exciting weekend here of football. We'll obviously break down.
Are they going to bring back the name Super Wild Card Weekend after this weekend?
That's right. Do you remember that Super Wild Card Weekend?
They disappeared it. It never happened. But now after this week, it would have been perfect. They could have been touting it.
But
what a weekend of football.
Did they get rid of it because we added the Monday night game now?
No, they had the Monday night game, but it was like Saturday, Sunday is the Super Wild Card. That's what it was last year. I don't know.
Yeah, Super Wild Card Weekend. I don't know. Is that dumber, or is the Dane Cook baseball commercials where it was like, there's only one October? Like that those were
I think that takes the cake.
Those were dumb as well. College football, we got a long ways to go before the national championship game coming up. Nope, not tonight. It is next Monday night, the national championship game between Indiana and Miami. I know it feels like should be this week. I don't know, but it's nope. We have to wait till next Monday night before we get there. We got plenty of NBA and NHL to focus on this week. Took a bad loss on the ice last night, Mackenzie. There was an incredible system play backing the Utah Mammoth last night against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So Columbus was playing the second of a back-to-back after playing in Colorado on Saturday night and then having to play in Utah on Sunday. Teams playing the second of a back-to-back after playing in Colorado on the first night and then playing wherever they are on the road the second night had lost 14 of the last 15 games.
But there's nothing to do in Utah. Why would it be tough to play in Utah on the back? I mean, the altitude.
Because you're fatigued. You're fatigued from Colorado. Sense. But anyway, Mammoth Blue Jackets
and
won 3-2.
From the people of Utah. Ugh.
Blue Jackets won 3-2 in overtime, thanks to the Mammoth. The Mammoth took a penalty with 23 seconds left in the third period, and so they had to play overtime shorthanded. And the Blue Jackets got a power play goal there in overtime to win the game. This situation will also come up tomorrow. And yes, it's Utah again. The Maple Leafs are in Colorado tonight, and then they will be in Utah coming up on tomorrow. So that's another fade. And it's also going to happen on Saturday with the Nashville Predators, on Friday in Colorado, and on Saturday they're in Vegas. So two other situational spots that we're going to keep an eye on there in the NHL. And then Mackenzie NBA, we're still churning it out. We're going to maybe do some power ratings this week as well as we start to reevaluate these teams as we are well into 2026 now. And we'll start to upgrade some of the performances, maybe take a look at the futures market, if you will. Some awards, dark horses, maybe, maybe not. We'll take a look at all of that, though, as we are rocking and rolling with all of you right here. Don't forget, hit us up on social media as well. Tell your friends and your family about us. We really appreciate you. To all our new members, thanks for signing up this week. We've had a great week. All good things must come to an end. My 13-game winning streak came to an end yesterday.
Streaks end on 13. It's crazy how that works.
Streaks end on 13, but that's okay. I thought to myself, I was like, imagine if we did a ladder challenge where like I did the $10 to 10K. We would have won the 10K. We completed the ladder challenge. I won 13 straight plays up on Better Day.
10K, and then you would have gotten 20K.
Yeah,
and then you had an 80K, and then you would have given it all back. And be like,
exactly. Martingale. So we'll start a new streak, though, like we always do. You know that. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.